you use what you have. Even if you just open up one and you take a chance at what's in it. You need to know that when we're doing this lovely meal, which turns out to a great meal, and you'll have some of it, some of the ingredients which are put in almost everything are scabs, caterpillars, and toenails. Because when you have teenage boys and they open that can of dehydrated carrots, it's not looking fresh and lovely. And they immediately make it into something disgusting. It's like, oh boys, please, we have to eat this. But rehydrated, my kids now know, they'll go, okay, we'll just put it in. And they kind of now fight for which disgusting thing they want to put in. It's like, okay, you're fine. So open a can. Open a number 10 tin that you're not sure of. Like I said, shortening, the dehydrated shortening. I'm going to be using tablespoons out of my 6 number 10 tins forever. But celery didn't go very far at all. If you have any questions, do you have any questions? I know that somebody in the room went, duh, I could do that, when they saw this the first time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
As she said, we made some, it was our dinner tonight, and we're going to share some of it with you. It's the first time we decided to have one, I was shocked at how good it was. You know, when we have food storage meals, we tell our children, this is a food storage meal. So they get used to going, oh, well, you know, food storage meals are good. Some people go, are you eating from the food storage? Oh, yeah. And then they, you know, we ate this last time, and I'm like, this is really good. I want more. And you can literally thin it out, and if you had to feed, we've discovered we could feed our family twice, and if we thinned it out, we could probably feed a small army. Well, there used to be a food storage table on providentliving.org that said, you know, wheat will store for 10 years. They've radically modified how long you can store some of the food. I mean, come on, they found wheat kernels in the pyramids in Egypt, and they've re-sprouted it.
Re-sprouted?
They sprouted the corn, the wheat kernels that they found from Egypt. So we're talking 3,000-year-old wheat. So I'm figuring my 20-year-old wheat's pretty good. This meal plan is not an end. I think we're going to continue to modify them, try adding different things to them, trying different ways of cooking them, and see how it works out. But to me, in my mind, it just makes, it made a heck of a lot of sense, rather than having a bunch of tins of different stuff. And also, I forgot to mention, one of the key ingredients that I wanted to do this was, and it's the emergency preparedness diversification. I have all the information in my little brain about how to store all this stuff. I know how to set up tents, I know how to make knots, I have all this kind of stuff. But what if I'm injured? Do my children know how to do that? What if my wife, who is the great cook, who can look into a pantry, see 47 items that I don't even think remotely should be on the same planet, let alone the same pantry, and she comes out with this wonderful meal? I can't do that. So if she's injured or hurt, how are we going to, I can do a little bit of cooking, but the intention was my children could do this. My children would be able, they don't have to follow a recipe. They just zip open a bag, pour it in a pot, add water, and boil. I mean, I'm pretty sure most of my children do boil water. But so that was a great way, especially if you happen to be injured or you know, and nobody wants to cook. You know, you don't have to. Literally, you open it, dip it, cook, boil it, you're done. And I'm hoping that that you enjoyed what we gave you there. It was obviously that's not bad. You know, that's something that you would be happy to eat on a fairly regular basis. Just to kind of recap, if you don't already, make sure you get at least a week's worth of the food that you normally eat. Spaghetti, SpaghettiOs, stew, whatever you're going to have, something that's simple, basic, that doesn't require a lot of water or a lot of cooking time. Something that's already pre-cooked, like stew or something like that, for an emergency. And then after you've gotten that, a week's worth of food stored up, then you want to store 3 months worth of food. Rice, wheat, beans, those kind of things. And then you can do something like this if you already have some of those ingredients. And then after you do that, the church recommends that we get a year's supply. And so that you are able to take care of not only yourself, but we also believe, and I also believe, you have the ability to give charity to others. and be able to not only feed yourselves, but take care of those around you as well.
So if you
If you just go on the internet and type in dehydrated carrots, you'll find lots of places.
There's a lot of websites
Yeah.
that sell dehydrated
But
foods.
if you buy, like gather some people together and buy in mass quantity, do they?
In Honeyville Foods, you can get, they'll give you some kind of discount for quantity. The problem now is because of the food shortages that we're seeing, most of these things are, and because of food shortages and things like that, the prices are going up and the availability is going down. It's getting harder and harder to find these things. The nice thing about dehydrated food is, because it's dehydrated, it doesn't weigh a lot. So there's not a lot of shipping costs in terms of, but most of the stuff that we bought has been just watching the things and buying them on sale. When, we bought some from a company that was going out of business, they were leaving California and moving to Idaho. And, go figure. And they were getting rid of a lot of their stock, and so we bought a lot of their stuff. That's how we ended up with 4 tins of shortening. The downside of those things is they're not cheap. I mean, like a number 10 tin of caterpillars or celery. That's the reason you take them out, they look like little caterpillars. The funny, in fact, I was going to have an emergency preparedness thing, and I was going to lay them out and go, all right, tell me what that is. And they're going to go, I have no clue. Well, that's corn. That's it doesn't look like anything. The carrots look like. Was that the fingernails?
No,
Oh.
scabs.
That's
I
scab,
mean,
yeah.
smells like toenails.
The onions look like toenails, and the carrots look like scabs. They're terrible.
It's only because we have teenage
But-
boys helping us.
But I would love to figure out what our end cost for this is, but because the cans are pretty expensive, but the end cost of this, I can't imagine being much more than about $5 or $6. Maybe
Oh, I don't think it's that much.
maybe even less than that. So we're talking, to feed a family of 6, and for $6 is, and the peace of mind it gives us. This is not going to be, it is not the be all and end all. It has, the nice thing about the beans and everything else is they're designed to have full proteins and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you need to have some kind of greens. You should have some kind of, we've been counseled that we should have a garden, you should have some kind of greens, that kind of way. You should, one of the things that we store is a fair amount of multivitamins to go along with it as well. And so, but we've lived on our food storage twice or 3 times.
3 times.
3 times we've lived on our food storage. That doesn't mean, that wasn't a major catastrophe. I was out of work for a period of time. And so we use things like this to really stretch our food budget so that we didn't have to spend as much money on food.